So, if we're thinking about this scene comparatively, one of the important factors in this is that this is the scene that follows Abby's murder of the child, and that, like Streetcar, we don't actually see that moment of violence and crisis that it engineers. We don't see Stanley's rape of Blanche. We only see him sort of dragging her off into the room like a kind of caveman, and then talking about it afterwards. And we see the aftermath of it, but not the action itself. And similarly here, we don't see this act being committed, but we do see the aftermath. Now, it's dawn in the morning, and again, there's a suggestion of change about that particular temporal setting. Aben is sitting, his chin propped on his hands, his drawn face blank and expressionless, his carpetbag is on the floor beside him. So his intensity is lost here in his stage directions, and I think that, again, tells us something about the sort of fatalistic element in this plot, that the intensity is partly resident within the child because it is the product of that passionate emotional connection between him and Abby. But his conflict is still unresolved, which is important. He's still not been able to make sense of his distance from Abby and his passionate feelings of desire for her. Abby, at the same time, whilst Cabot is asleep and Aben's sitting in the kitchen, is bending over the cradle, listening, her face full of terror, yet with an undercurrent of desperate triumph. So we've got this huge sense of conflict in her emotions, that she has committed this act of infanticide, and that there is this false triumphant resolution. Notice that same vocabulary that's constantly used to describe Ephraim when he does something that is based on his egotistical sense of resolution. It's always a sign that there's something wrong. Suddenly she breaks down and sobs and appears about to throw herself on her knees beside the cradle, but the old man turns restlessly, groaning in his sleep. So at that moment in time, his presence stops her, and she shrinks away from the cradle with a gesture of horror and backs swiftly towards the door in the rear and goes out. So, importantly, the act of murder is what she's comprehending when she shrinks away from the cradle. But Ephraim is the one that re-establishes her determination. It's her hostility towards him that in the end reconnects her with the determination of her plea, because she's so deeply repulsed by she's as repulsed by Ephraim as she is attracted to Aben. And so there's this gesture of horror here as she recognises it, but the conflict with Ephraim is what ultimately gives her the motivation to follow through with the plan. I mean, she's already committed the act, but to follow through with it mentally. A moment later, she comes into the kitchen and, running to Aben, flings her arms about his neck and kisses him wildly. He hardens himself and he remains unmoved and cold and keeps his eyes straight ahead. And so here, his qualities are like his father. He's hard, he's unmoved and cold. Keeps his eyes straight ahead. He's not looking at the things around him. So his Ephraim-like qualities here are partly preventing the resolution of the conflict in himself and the resolution of the conflict between him and Abby. She's hysterical here and says, "I've done it, Aben. I told you I'd do it. I've proved I love you better than everything. So you can't never doubt me no more." And he's dull to this. Again, he's insensible to what's going on around him. He can't fully understand the implications of what she's trying to tell him because he's not using the right parts of his being and the right parts of his vision. Whatever you've done, it ain't no good now. And she's wild here. Don't you say that. Kiss me, Aben, won't you? I need you to kiss me after what I've done. I need you to say that you love me. He kisses her without any emotion. Again, that's a sort of Apollonian quality. That's for goodbye, I'm going to. And she says, "No, you won't go, not now." He goes on with his own thoughts. So again, he doesn't really respond to what's been said here. He doesn't really respond to what she's trying to communicate to him. And so their distance, again, is what we see through these stage directions.
I've been thinking, and I ain't going to tell Pa nothing. I'll leave Ma to take vengeance on you. If I told him the old skunk would just be stinking mean enough to take it out on that little baby.
His voice showing emotion in spite of him. And so here is the huge sense of tragic, dramatic irony. And I don't want nothing bad to happen to him. He ain't to blame for you. So there's enormous dramatic irony here, is that his resolution in the end is taken purely to protect the child, and it's her resolution to have killed it, and he's unaware of that fate. So this enormous dramatic irony again foregrounds his lack of introspection and his ability to understand what's gone on around him. His final lines he adds with a certain queer pride, and he looks like me, and by God he's mine, and someday I'll be coming back. And his egotism here adds another sort of extension, another layer to the irony that it's actually a form of self-murder. And again, he seems like his father here. But she also is too absorbed in her own thoughts to listen to him pleadingly. So her distance is really striking at this moment in time. Her absorption, understandably, in the act of atrocity that she's just committed, infanticide. Now, she says, there's no cause for you to go now. There's no sense. It's all the same as it was. Nothing come between us now after what I've done. And here, something in her voice arouses him. It's important that it's not actually the words themselves. It's just the tone. That it's the sort of passionate awareness. It's his passionate connection with her that in the end allows him to connect fully with what's going on. It's not really rationality in his mind that does so. And she declares, I killed him, Aiden. I killed him, I.A. And then recovering from his astonishment savagely says, and serves him right, but we've got to do something quick to make it look as if the old skunk killed himself when he was drunk. We can prove by and more how drunk he got. So the huge dramatic irony here is that the rivalry between his father prevents the accuracy of his vision. He's so sort of secretly longing for the murder of his father because of his Oedipal rage that he, again, fails to understand what she's declaring to him. When he finally realizes a little further into the scene, he falls to his knees as if he'd been struck, his voice trembling with horror. Oh God Almighty God, Ma, where was you? Why didn't you stop her? He was trapped at this moment in time in Apollonian state and not with Ma. And it's important that he invokes her. You know, he's not with the Dionysian, with the feminine, with the maternal, with the vital, if he is thinking through the lens of egotism and mercenary kind of materialism. So that intense emotional connection with the child is evident in his stage direction, so that he falls to his knees as if he's been struck, and his voice is trembling with horror, a full moment of comprehension. This is a moment of epiphany, not really an agnorasis, because he doesn't yet understand his own role in the tragedy. His rage is beginning to mingle with grief. And he looked like me. He was mine, damn you. And so, here, again, it's that egotism, sense of possession that's driving them apart. And she's slow and broken here. I didn't want to do it. I hated myself for doing it. I loved him. He was so purdy, dead spitting image of you. And that intense love is because he is an extension of him. But I loved you more. And you were going away. So we see again that danger of distance and isolation, that it actually motivates her infanticide. Further over the page, she says, I'd cut off my head before I'd hurt his finger. And Abby piteously says, sinking on her knees, Aben, don't you look at me like that, hating me, not for what I'd done for us, so we could be happy again. So the power shifts in this moment, because he's unable to endure this and springs to his feet in a fury, threatening her, his twitching fingers seeming to reach out for her throat. There's this enormous reversal of power as he seems extremely aggressive and she sinks to her knees. And so that rage that he has towards his father is being rechanneled towards her here. says, "Shut up or I'll kill you. I see your game now. The same old sneaking trick you're aiming to blame me for the murder you've done." So again, still seeing the world through those, almost through Ephraim's eyes. And she moans and puts her hand over her ears. "Don't you, Abram, don't you?" She cannot even accommodate his language. You know, it's too much, and it's so far away from how she really feels. Underneath, his mood suddenly changes to horror and he shrinks away from her. He calls her poison and says, "How could you murder a poor little critter? You must have swapped your soul to hell. I can see why you've done it. Not the lies you just told, but because you wanted to steal again. Steal the last thing you'd left me, my part of him, no, the whole of him. You saw he looked like me, you knowed he was all mine, and you couldn't bear it. I know you. You killed him for being mine." So this is a thing where his understanding is the furthest away from the accurate truth. He understands this as a sort of egoistic revenge, and that sudden reversal of power then is because he is acting like Ephraim. He's acting domineering because he's still seeing that as a personal affront to him. And then it causes him to kind of collapse back on egoistic self-reliance. He says, "I'll take my vengeance now. I'll get the sheriff. I'll tell him everything. Then I'll sing, I'm off to California and go gold, Golden Gate, gold sun, fields of gold in the west." And so it's all money. It's what he starts talking about as money. This last, he half shouts, half croons incoherently, suddenly breaking off passionately. So he's sort of wailing this false sense of commitment to materialism. "I'm going for the sheriff to come and get you. I want you took away, locked up from me. I can't stand to look at you. Murderer and thief or not, you still tempt me. I'll give you up to the sheriff." So his internal conflict is still compelling his behaviour. And in the end, it's actually his temptation, his sexual attraction to them that forces him into this resolution. At the end, she says, "I don't care what you do if you'll only love me again." And she falls limply to the floor in a faint. So the intensity and vitality of their connection is all that matters for her. And I think, we, as the audience, we're at this moment of rare, full empathy with her directly after the moment of infanticide, where we fully empathise with not the methods of her attempt to reconcile, but the intensity of the passion that motivates her attempt to reconcile with Abram.